Hello everyone, welcome back. This episode is another chart analysis and I guess a little comment time. And so let's go to some of the comments here. And so let's go to the first comment here, or I'll save that one for the second one. I got some viewers here who watch some of my Harbor Freight videos, and it's been a while since I've done one. A little comment here is that did you find any Bitcoins down there after the dump from 315? This is a comment made from my compact electric drain cleaner. So he was kind of, I guess, making a pun at the drain cleaning, the sewer drain, and Bitcoins. And no, I did not find any Bitcoins down there. And if anybody wants to know if you're looking for Bitcoins down there, you're not going to find any. All right, so, and here's the other comment. And it's always good to know that there's people who making comments. Tells me that you're watching, or you're out there lurking around and watching my video here. It says nobody is watching these vids, so why don't you stop making them? And I'm always amused by these kind of comments because didn't you just watch my video? Not only did you watch it, did you also not take the time to make a comment on it as well? So anyways, I guess my video response to that is, we tend to think of the things we do in life in the context of while we're still alive. And I think people get caught up in that, like, what's the point? I won't be here. And I have to tell you, I know these videos don't get a lot of hits, but I'm not really doing them to get hits, right? I'm making these videos because in some way I feel compelled to do so. Maybe another reason, and I thought about this, like, why am I making these videos? What is compelling me to share this with the rest of the fucking world? And I don't have an answer. I just feel compelled to do this, and maybe in some ways I'm doing it for myself because it's a way to immortalize the things that I've done. Because a lot of people tend to think of things that they do in the context of while they're still alive. But if you have to back up sometimes and realize that although you may cease to be alive in this world, the things you leave behind still exist. So maybe this video isn't really for you per se, and it's this, I don't know what this thing is, West Coast Mods. I did look him up, or her, I don't know. You never know with people over the internet, but apparently makes computers and other shit. I don't know what this person does, but and I don't really care. But maybe this isn't for you per se, and who knows? Maybe I am wasting my time. But the thing is, it's my time to waste. And if you can imagine all the times that someone has told you to stop doing something. No one's paying attention. No one cares about it. No one, you fill in the blanks, right? You get them every day. You get them all the time. um, you know, you would have to ask yourself, would we have some things that we have right now? Will we enjoy a computer if someone said, no one cares about a fucking punch card? How about no one cares if if you found a system to make it easier to calculate numbers, which eventually led to computers. But I mean, you're wasting your time thinking about, you know, the Earth is round. You know, so I mean, my point is, it's I don't know why this person made the comment. If no one's making, if no one's watching my videos, then why make a comment on about a video that no one's gonna watch? I don't know. Anyways, maybe this video is not for you. Maybe it's for people who haven't even been born yet. Maybe it's for certain people who want to watch it, and not for the people who don't want to watch it. So, and then anyways, even if nobody watched it, even if I got like a 0 hit, 0 views, I would still make a video. Because I'm just compelled to do so. And again, I'm not doing it for the views. I know it sounds kind of weird. It's like, well, if you're not doing it for the views, why would you do it? You know, if you're not doing it for the money, why would you do it? If you're not doing it for some material need or material good, or for selfish reasons, why would you do it? I don't know. I don't know why I would do that. So anyways, there's my response to this comment is, you know, if people are going to make a comment, I will make a video response. That's kind of like how I like to reply. Well, so that's that. So answer this question: did you find any Bitcoins down there after the dumping from 315? No, I didn't find any Bitcoins down there. Okay, and then this one is, nobody is watching these vids, so why don't you stop making them? The reason why I don't stop making them is because I'm compelled to do so. And it's not about getting hits, it's not about people watching. It's about, I guess, documenting a certain point in history, a point in time, in the way that I want to do it. And you know, if it was for the hits, yeah, I'd be wasting my time. I would have probably stopped a long time ago. I get more views on my Harbor Freight videos, and man, you know, I could still be doing some of those things. I could just literally, I mean, there's a lot of stuff you can do with Harbor Freight videos. I get a lot of hits. I get, like, most of my hits come from Harbor Freight videos. You know, I barely get any hits on these Bitcoin trades, but I keep doing them. So you have to say to yourself, why don't I just stop making them? Because they're not about, you know, really people. I'm not doing it for the views. You know, I'm doing it because I feel a need to do this, and there's a compelling feeling for me to do it. So if you watch my next one, you'll get your answer. But if you don't, other people, I'm assuming, are watching, and they'll have an answer to your question. Alright, so that's it for that. And so let's quickly go on a chart analysis here and see what happens. Oh boy. Okay, well, excuse me. So it seems like a lot has happened since I last made my chart analysis. Now this is on a Bitfin on a 12-hour chart, and it's been a while since I did some price comparison on the different exchanges. But here's Bitstamp, and right now it's kind of late, and I'm trying to get a good idea of the price action. So as the different time zones come into play, I like to see how the different exchanges react. And right now, it's for some reason Bitstamp is higher, but I noticed in the morning in the U.S., especially Eastern to Central Time, Bitfinex or Bit I like to say Bitfin. Bitfin is higher, and it's been a while, but this Chinese exchange and BitC have been pretty much paired off, but Chinese exchange is starting to rise up a little bit more. Right now, it's almost same price right here. So I'm starting to see some movement and indications of how each exchange is starting to react, especially in their particular time zones or their particular market participants. And so if you're savvy enough, you could kind of take advantage of those different price movements and perform a exchange arbitrage. So, but anyways, that's a quick look at that. Let's have a quick look at the chart and let's see what happened. And looks like it did rise up, and it rose to 300 and a little bit beyond. It didn't really stay, it finished there, but it didn't stay there. It came back, which I would expect that, because, you know, if you're back to the wave thing, you'll know that it just, you know, it just doesn't just go up and do that, although it did do that, but I did expect it to pull back. A lot of people were probably really happy we got it this high and was really selling. They probably were really a lot of buyers from down here. You see, at some point it stops, because, you know, if there's a lot of buyers at this point, they're obviously not going to keep selling to the point where they're going to be losing out. So this is the recent low here. So you see it stopped right around 220, somewhere around there. I think around 220. And if you were savvy enough, you probably average cost. And I started mine at around a little bit below 230, and then 225, and it hit all those, and it came back up during the day. And so I did enjoy a nice gain. Now, if you haven't noticed, I did mention in my previous episode that I'm maintaining my gains in Bitcoin as much as I can. You know, at these price levels, it's so much easier to make a gain in Bitcoin than in your fiat currency, that it's I feel it's more advantageous to have Bitcoins. And on top of that, now it's so much easier for me to get Bitcoins or make my gains in Bitcoins. And also, I'm finding it to be very useful to have Bitcoins on hand, because a couple things you can do. You can do instant transactions. You by having Bitcoins on hand, you don't have to worry about the time it takes to do the transfer in the blockchain. You can use the Bitcoins you have on hand to basically do your transactions while you're waiting for your incoming transactions, if that makes sense. If you're trying to maintain a certain amount of Bitcoins, or you're trying to perform an arbitrage in the physical world or in the street market. So there's exchange market, and then there's street markets, and there's exchange value, and then there's street value. And so and basically that's what's going on when you trade Bitcoin, is you're coming in and out of virtual reality and physical reality. And that's what makes Bitcoin so unique. And so by having Bitcoins on hand, you're able to transact instantly. And not only that, you're able to leverage your transactions. You're able to leverage your Bitcoin. You're also able to make multiple transactions. Okay, I'm gonna go on a limb here. And you're able to make multiple transactions with the same Bitcoin. But at the same time, you're not really making any transactions at all with that same Bitcoin. So I'm sorry if I talk this way, and it may confuse some of you, especially the new viewers. That's probably why I don't have a lot of people viewing. But for those out there who know what I'm talking about, this makes perfect sense. And these videos are not for everybody. I know that. I know that now, because I'm living it, and I could tell you that it is it's a different life, and it's not for everyone. I could tell you it's not for everyone. It's a life that you have to be committed to doing and believing, and not everyone can do that. So anyways, so I'm absorbing all these Bitcoins now, and I didn't sell off here, although I looked at it and I said, wow, I did enjoy the increase in the value. But the increase in the value is not what I'm really looking for. I'm looking for the increase in the use of Bitcoins. Now, when it increases in value, what it did do for me is, well, as it increased, it got harder for me to make gains in Bitcoin. But it became easier for me to make gains in fiat currency. And so, but I did not, I didn't dump my Bitcoins here or put a limit order for that. I think this has a lot more potential to go up further, and so I'm only expending my Bitcoin as I'm actually needing them now. So if I need to do something, purchase, exchange, trade, whatever, that's when I'll actually expend my Bitcoins. But really what I'm doing is really trading my Bitcoin, and I'm trying to do it in a way that allows me to gain more Bitcoins. And so I don't really want to deplete my Bitcoin gain, because I know the more Bitcoins I have, the more I'll be able to transact in gains with Bitcoin. And so I'm pretty, how can I say this? I'm pretty stingy with my Bitcoins right now. I'm not willing to give it up that easy, even though I know I need to pay my bills and all that. Only when I need to expend my Bitcoins to pay my bills is when I'll do it. But if I can hold off on that as long as I can, I'm still make my gains in dollars, in fiat currency, and that's what I'll use to pay my bills and all that stuff. But as much as I can, I'm gonna save as many Bitcoins, absorb absorb many Bitcoins as I can, because I know that using that Bitcoin gives me a tremendous advantage over people who don't. And for those who understand that and see that, that's what the big excitement is about. Okay, that's the big revolution. So for some people who are watching and don't know anything about Bitcoins, or for people who are just stumbled onto this video and you're wondering what's the big deal. Well, the big deal is if you have a Bitcoin, it really opens up more than just a financial freedom for you. It opens up a lot of other things. Finance is just the beginning. That's just the beginning. I mean, once you really start understanding how, and you have to go through a whole life-changing process. I've mentioned in my previous videos. You go through a total conversion. You do a convert. You could basically convert into Bitcoin. I mean, literally, you convert into Bitcoin, and the world is flipped over. Everything around you is now priced out in Bitcoin versus priced out in a currency of fiat currency. Between those two, until things are all in Bitcoin, or majority of it's in Bitcoin, or majority of people start using Bitcoin in lieu of their currency. I mean, currency would be an option. I'm talking about fiat currency. But everything that I see now is priced in Bitcoin, and once you literally convert to Bitcoin and you fall into the rabbit hole, I mean, literally, you will fall into that rabbit hole. And here's the weird part about the rabbit hole. When you first fall in, it feels like you're falling down. You're falling down, right? Because you feel like you look down at your feet, and it seems like you're going down. Well, at some point, when you flip over, and you will, you're not looking down at your feet anymore and falling down. You're looking up, and you're ascending into the sky, I guess. I don't know how to say that. Instead of descending, all of a sudden you're ascending, and you're not falling down anymore. You're going up, and it's such a weird feeling. Is that you don't like, literally, the world flips over. You don't know what, if you're falling down or if you're falling up, if you're descending or ascending. And but for me, it's at some point you're literally ascending. You're going up. You're flying up and away, and you're ascending to a destination. And so, it's a weird concept, a weird idea, but you have to experience this to get an idea of this, or try to even understand. And so, when you make that total conversion, everything starts falling into place, everything starts making sense, and then you start empowering yourself and start using Bitcoin. I mean, it's simple as that. Well, I guess it's simple as that, but when you go through it, it's such a bizarre feeling to it, and I I hope you all have a chance to experience that. So, anyways, that's what it's like for me right now, and the price decrease. I know everybody's probably like who don't understand, probably laughing at people like me saying, "Ha ha, you got all this Bitcoin, it's gone down in value," and you know, I think there really are people who really think that you know, people are like who probably watch my videos and say, "This guy's a fool, this guy's an idiot." Um, but you're only seeing it through your eyes and not my eyes, which is the whole point of me making this video. Um, anyways, in my eyes, um, I'm doing just fine. I'm doing great. I've never had so much Bitcoins in my life, and I've never had the pleasure of enjoying the advantages of having so many Bitcoins in my life. And so, and I never, and on top of that, I'm enjoying getting it at a lower price and getting a lot of it for the same amount of price I would have bought, even if it was at 10,000 a Bitcoin. That means I would have probably just bought one Bitcoin. If you bought $10,000 worth of Bitcoin right now, you would get, I don't know, how many would you get? 50? No, you get more than that. You made 60? No, a little bit less, 67. Well, anywhere 50 to 60 Bitcoins is what you would get. I mean, back before I got involved, I mean, you used to get like a whole bunch. Now that it's becoming more and more harder to get, and it's becoming more and more real. It's manifesting into reality. It's not that easy to get, and I think a lot of people believe that all they have to do is just open up an account at Coinbase or Circle or all, whichever many of the new companies that are offering Bitcoin. They just have to just go out there and just buy it. Well, that's, yeah, you can do that, but you have to realize while you're buying it or you're acquiring it, as more and more people acquire it, there's less and less to acquire. And so as more and more people start utilizing the benefits and the advantages, it becomes more valuable. Now, I'm talking to a person who doesn't understand Bitcoin in any way, shape, or form. That's kind of the thinking you have to have in order to get into it. But once you get into it, you start realizing, the price does make a difference, because when you convert into Bitcoin, it's going to be more expensive for you to do that versus converting into Bitcoin while the price is low. You'll get a lot more Bitcoins, and you'll start doing a lot more things. You'll start doing a lot more things. You just have to experience it for yourself. But the tremendous advantages are there for you. Anyways, I'm sorry if I got off track here. Let's just take a look at the price here. Okay, so I mentioned that it would go 250 and then also break on through. It had to be higher than that last high, and it really broke out to 300. It did finish higher, okay, or right around 300. It's pulled back. The next step now, and whether this is going to bounce from here or at 200, I'm not really sure, but I know that it's probably gonna, if it does advance up, you're looking at 350, which is this line, which it may probably hit 350, and then continue on to 400, and 400 being right about, oh, darn it, 400 right around being this here. I don't know why I'm using this pin, but I got like a nice little mouse here to show 400. So 400 would be the next target, and that's would pretty much mean it's headed here and around here, 400. So it's already gone to 350. It's pulled back. I'm surprised if it hit 300 and pulls back and goes up to 350. And once it goes up to 350, it may really start breaking out and start hitting up against 400. And then at 400, that's when it might just, top out before it may pull back down to 350 or back down to 300, depending, depending on what happens, of course. But that's something that I would expect. And I'm buying it on the way up, buying it on the way down, buying and selling, buy low, sell high, all right, that concept. But instead of trying to keep your gains in a currency, the fiat currency, the electric fiat currency, or the actual fiat currency, I'm trying to keep as much of that gain in Bitcoin, because the more Bitcoins I have, the more Bitcoins I can use. And the more Bitcoins I use, the more Bitcoins I get. The more Bitcoins I get, that means there's less Bitcoins out there, and it's probably going to drive that price up, and which in turn means if I need to expend it, I'll expend less Bitcoin and keep more of it. And so that's just my thinking. Of course, that's kind of obvious what I say, right? But saying it and thinking about it is different than actually doing it. I'm actually doing it. And I've noticed some of the benefits is, as I mentioned, instant transactions. Okay. Second benefit, I'm not worried about the price. Third benefit is you get more Bitcoin, which gives you the first two benefits. More instant transactions. You don't have to worry about the price. I mean, it's just, it's just self-feeding itself. And it feeds itself to the point where it's a feedback loop where it's benefiting you. I mean, well, it's benefiting me. So after you get to that point, things just become so much, for me anyway, it becomes so much easier. I'm not stressing about the price when I trade, and when it goes to escrow, I'm not stressing about, how long it's in escrow and whether the price went up or down. Because again, you can do instant transactions. You can do instantly because you have Bitcoins on hand. You're using those Bitcoins while you are buying or selling at that time, and you're performing instant arbitrage. So if you're in it for the long run, you're not really worried about the fluctuations in price, because overall what you're doing is contributing to the increase in the value, which then means you have to expend less of that Bitcoin to get the same amount of things or whatever. And for me, it's all about trying to get as much Bitcoins as you can. And that's kind of what I'm trying to say is, the more Bitcoins you have, the less stressful it is to actually have and own a Bitcoin. Well, right now anyway. I'm sure when it was very high and you slid down, it was very stressful. But that's where you have to learn how to trade. For me, trading at this point, it's a very small risk to do it. And if you start using Bitcoin, again, it reduces your stress level in trading or using or having Bitcoins um, by doing the way I'm doing. So, anyways, I think I talked long enough. Um, that's my quick chart analysis. Like I said, you see it pop up to 300, pull back. Wouldn't surprise me if it shot up to at least 350 onto 400 now. 400 would be that target, and then from there it probably will wiggle down, and may even there may be a good, well, there may be a chance, I won't say a good chance, but if it hits 400, and then depending how strong of a push there is, you can definitely see something up into the 500, like pushing onto the 500 range again. But at some point it will probably pull back from there, because you're going to see a lot of people trying to take in their gains in US dollars. And while they're taking their gains in US dollars, I will be making my gains in Bitcoin. Because when you make that total conversion, everything around you becomes denominated in how many Bitcoins is that worth. And what you really want is you want it to be, when the price is low, you want to gather up as many Bitcoins as you can, because it's going to be easier to do that. And when the price goes up, you can expend your Bitcoins and expend a small amount of it and get the most out of it. And then the price goes down, gather it up again, goes up, expend it. But you're spending less than what you've gathered. And you just keep doing that, and you'll just grow your Bitcoin. You'll just grow the amount of Bitcoins that you have. And in good time, all that work that you've done, all that trading, all that risk you took, all that time you believed, finally will pay off. That's what I'm thinking anyway. So, anyways, I talk long enough. I'm going to conclude this episode. Feel free to like, dislike, leave a comment, even a video response. Until next time, stay tuned. Bye.